Okay, for today's lesson, we want to go back over and review some two-step equations that we know you're going to see on the test. I know in Mrs. Brimhall's class and in my class we've been looking at multi-step equations the last few days, but we think it's very important that we go over these two-step equations. And it'll be a good day for our first day of, homeschool for 2 weeks to kind of do some review. So the two-step equations we're talking about are the ones that look like this. If we have x plus 2 divided by 8 equals 5. Okay, the first thing we want to do is find that equal sign, right? And break this problem into two sides. Make sure we have a right side to the equation and make sure we have a left side to the equation. Okay? Find out what the variable that we're solving for in the problem is. The variable in this case is x. We're solving for x. And like I said, in the multi-step equations we've been doing, x has been on both sides. But in the two-step equation, there's only one x, and the x is on the left-hand side. So our goal is we want to make sure we get x to be the only thing left on the left-hand side. So we need to undo the problem. We need to get rid of the 2 and the 8. Okay? So which one do we get rid of first? Do we get rid of the 2 or the 8? So in my class we talk about we want to get rid of what's farthest away from the x. So if I break aside for a second here, and this is kind of my crazy thinking that we do in my class. If I have this x plus 2 all over 8 right here, and I pretend let's make it into a house. Well, x plus 2 are both upstairs. They're upstairs watching the same TV show. 8's in the basement. He's downstairs watching a different show. So if I think about what's farthest away from the x here, the 8 is, because he's downstairs, where the 2 is in the upstairs watching the same show. Okay, so 8's the farthest thing away. So we want to undo this by getting rid of the 8 first. So if I think about what the problem says, it says x plus 2 divided by 8. The opposite of dividing by 8 is timesing by 8. So I need to times everything on this by this side by 8. If I times this by 8, I need to times everything over here by 8 as well. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other. Okay? The whole reason why we do that is get those 8's to be able to cancel out. That breaks this up so we have x plus 2 left on this side. But over here, here's our math problem. We need to go 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. We are not done because x is not by itself. So now the problem says x plus 2 equals 40. So the opposite of adding 2 is subtracting 2. So if I take away 2 from this side, I need to take away 2 from this side. That will allow these to cancel out, so x is finally by itself. 40 minus 2 is 38, and there is my answer. Okay. Make sure you have paper and pencil, and so you can be following along with this. If you need to stop the video and grab paper and pencil, go ahead and do that now, but make sure you have some paper and pencil. Let's look at another problem. If we have negative 12 equals y minus 3 all divided by, let's say, 4. Okay, so same situation. We want to find the equal sign. We want to break this problem in half. Find the variable that we're solving for. In this case, we're solving for y. And y happens to be on the right-hand side. So that's okay. We just want to make sure we get y by itself on the right-hand side. So once again, we have a 3 and a 4 we need to get rid of. What's the farthest thing away from the y? The 4. The 4 is, like we said, almost in the basement. So once again, it says y minus 3 divided by 4. The opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. So if I times this side by 4, I need to times this side by 4. That allows these to cancel out, and we're left with y minus 3. This side, 4 times a negative 12, turns out to be a negative 48. And then from here we have y minus 3, so we need to do this, we need to say add 3. So if I add 3 here, I need to add 3 here. These cancel out. Okay, so y is now finally by itself. Now, unfortunately, we're not at school, so we don't have calculators to use. Okay, so you can find a calculator online to use, and you can type it in that way. You just try to Google a scientific calculator, and it should be one you can use. Or hopefully, you just know your rules from 7th grade. If you look at this, the signs are different. When the signs are different, we take away. So 48 take away 3 is 45. And we keep the sign of the bigger number, which is the negative one. So negative 45 equals y. Okay. Now you notice we're really focusing on these type of two-step equations. Okay, because these are the ones that we know we're going to see on the test. And it's kind of a pattern. You're always undoing by getting rid of the timesing part first, get rid of that bottom, and then you have to do the add and subtract part last. Okay. I want you guys to go ahead and try one real quick. Let's say you have a minus 5 all over negative 2, which equals 8. Okay, so go ahead and break them in half to get started, and you guys go ahead and solve this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start trying to get caught up with you. So once again, the farthest thing away is the 2 on the bottom. Right now we're dividing by negative 2. So the opposite, we want to times by negative 2. So I times this side by negative 2, I want to times this side by negative 2. That allows these to cancel out. A is minus 5 is left on this side. 8 times the negative 2 is negative 16. Finish from there if you have not. Then from here you're going to add 5, add 5, these will cancel, A is left. Once again, look at your signs are different. Signs are different, you take away, 16 take away 5 is 11. Keep the sign of the bigger number, which is the negative 1 in this case. So A equals negative 11. Okay. Hopefully this is kind of review for you. I want to look at one last one with you real quick. Let's say you have the situation of a negative 4 plus x all over 3, which equals, let's say, 9. So if I break this problem in half, find out what we're solving for, which in this case is x. X is on the left-hand side, and we want to get x by itself. And same thing, we start, what is the farthest thing away? 3. We're going to times by 3, times by 3. Those will cancel. So we are left with this on this side. And on the right side, 9 times 3 makes 27. Okay, so I want you to think about this. I still need to get rid of the 4 over here. What would I do? Right now it says negative 4. The opposite of that, hopefully you said, was a positive 4 or plus 4. So if I add 4 there, I need to add 4 there. These will cancel out, X is left. 27 plus 4 turns out to be 31. Okay. Once you've gone through the video and you've got this down, you're going to go ahead and finish the Nearpod assignment. There is 10 questions that you will need to answer. Make sure you're showing your work on the paper, and then make sure you're putting your answers on there. Once you are done with the assignment, you do have an exit ticket for both classes. Okay, so Mrs. Brimhall's class and my class, we do have an exit ticket, and these do count on your grade. They will be entered in SIS. There's 4 questions. Checking is make sure that you can do this. So go ahead and answer those 4. If you do have questions on the assignment, make sure you're asking us. Okay, we should be some open class time available. There's some tutor time available, and then also you can email us at any time. All right, hang in there. We'll talk to you guys later.